So you bought a Dromai Blitz deck and you want to upgrade it, but you're on a budget. Well, you found the right video. Today, I'm gonna give you an updated Dromai list that's only gonna cost about $10 with a few pricier upgrade options at the end for those of you with a little extra cash to spend. I'm going to be using TCG Player for the pricing of this video, but while the prices may vary a little bit depending on where you are in the world, all of these should cost under $1. As it stands, the base Blitz deck is, well, it's not a bad deck, but there is a noticeable lack of dragons, and let's be real, if you're buying Dromai, you wanna play some freaking dragons. Which means that we're gonna be overhauling the strategy of the base Blitz deck, removing a lot of the big generic and phantasm attacks in order to play a bunch of these new dragons. Therefore, this build is going to be adding in 3 new pieces of equipment as well as changing out a grand total of 18 cards. Starting with those equipment pieces, we're going to be adding in the new Silent Stilettos as well as the Null Rune Hood and Gloves. All of these pieces have Arcane Barrier for the Wizard matchup, which is important as you aren't likely to have many Ash Wings in the first couple turns of the game. The Stilettos also serve the double purpose of helping you keep a turn going in case your opponent blocks one of your dragons with a card of 6 attack or higher and triggers your Phantasm. So you will be wanting these when facing Guardians or Brutes. Now moving on to the main deck, we're gonna have to add a few blue cards in because we are playing the dragons. So to start, we are going to remove 2 Brutal Assaults for 2 Billowing Mirage blue. Again, this is mostly in here for pitch, but it is a card that costs 1, so you can pitch a red to play it, getting an Ash token, and it allows you to turn an Ash token into an Ash Wing, and it has natural go again. Following that, we are removing the 2 Critical Strike to play 2 Rake the Embers blue. This card also costs 1, which will make an Ash token if you pitch a red, and it converts one into an Ash Wing. And then we are removing the 2 Dust Ups to play 2 Passing Mirage. This is an aura from Everfest that removes Phantasm from your first Illusionist attack, which does include the dragons. And speaking of dragons, we're going to be removing the 2 Enigma Chimeras to play 2 Invoke Kyloria. This is easily the best dragon out of all of the rare dragons. It costs 1 to play, it attacks for 4, and it either steals an item from an opponent or, more likely, draws a card if it hits. Then we are going to be removing the 2 Embermaw Centipede to play 2 Invoke Asvalize. This card is also incredibly good, costing 0, and when it attacks, it can deal out arcane damage to up to 2 targets. Keep in mind, your opponent only counts as 1 target, so if that is the only thing you can send the arcane damage at, you will miss out on that second damage. But moving on to the rest of the main deck, we're going to take out the 2 Healing Bombs to play 2 Invoke Chromai. This card costs 0 and gives you an action point when it attacks or when it leaves the arena. So essentially when it gets popped by Phantasm. Then we're going to take out the 2 Lava Bursts to play 2 Invoke Mirage-Eye. This dragon costs 1 and removes the first instance of Phantasm from your first dragon attack. This is essentially 2 more Passing Mirages. Then we're going to take out the 2 Ravenous Rabble in order to play 1 Invoke Ovia and 1 Invoked Themi. We're only playing 1 of each because both of these dragons cost 2. Ovia passively makes Ash Wings and Themi prevents opponents from playing on your turn, which shuts down wizards. And then finally, we're going to remove the 2 Wounding Blow to play 2 Invoked Yenderai. This dragon costs 1 and it usually needs to be attacked twice, so it's a nice dragon to slap on the field to soak up some attacks. All of these cards together come to about $9. Now, as I said earlier, there are a few pricier Majestic upgrades, but before I get to those, if you have been enjoying this video and you want to see more Flesh and Blood content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I am aiming for that 2K and your support would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. So for those spicy upgrades, we're going to be removing the 2 Red Hots as well as the 2 Spears of Surreality in order to put in all 3 of the big boy dragons. Invoke Dominia, Invoke Tomultai, and Invoke Dracona Optimi, as well as putting in a single copy of Burn Them All. The cost of these dragons scale from 4 to 6, but their power levels scale accordingly as well, and their effects are dependent on how many red cards you reveal with their abilities. Dominia gives you the potential to remove a card from your opponent's hand, Tomultai can destroy an equipment, and Dracona Optimi can deal out massive amounts of damage on top of swinging for 6. And Burn Them All is a nice aura that can sit on the field for quite a while and rack up some extra arcane damage throughout a game while you swing with your dragons each turn. The price of these with the pre-release prices are about $10 to $15 per card. Pre-release prices are always at the very highest, and within a couple of weeks they come way down. So I very highly recommend starting with the budget upgrades, and when you see the prices go down, then pick up up the Majestics. However, that will be it for this video. I hope it was of great help to you, and I hope you enjoy slamming down a bunch of big old dragons into the arena. There's nothing better than summoning a bunch of giant fire lizards and slamming your opponent in the face with them.